どうして俺はモテちまうのか、俺をこんな風にしたのは誰なのか、そんなことできるやつあいつしかいね
まさかゴッド
え。マジック。恋愛の神様が俺にモテろって言ってる以上、また誰かを傷つけちまう。もう誰も傷つけたくない。
Hey everybody, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. Today we're going to go over another anime line of the day. We just played the clip for you, and you might have noticed that this time around we got a clip that's pretty lengthy. We're not going to be breaking down every single line in there. The line that we're going to be focusing on is the one that translates to, as long as the god of romance implores me to be popular, I'll end up hurting someone again. But there's a decent amount of context behind this line to understand why it's being said at all, why it's funny, I suppose. So the translation for the lines before that is, why am I so popular? Who made me this way? There's only one person who could have done this to me. Then the other character says, it can't be. God? Then he says the line that we're focusing on. Renai no kami sama ga俺にmoteroって言ってる以上、また誰かをkizutsukechimau. And this is, again, going to translate to, as long as the god of romance implores me to be popular, I'll end up hurting someone again. And then he also says, mo daremo kizutsuketakunai. And this will translate to basically, I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. So because that's such a lengthy context, let's just play the clip again so we make sure we got everything that's going on here.
どうして俺はモテちまうのか、俺をこんな風にしたのは誰なのか、そんなことできるやつあいつしかいね
まさかゴッド
え。マジック。恋愛の神様が俺にモテろって言ってる以上、また誰かを傷つけちまう。もう誰も傷つけたくない。
Alright, so that's the context. Hopefully you understand the scene here. Now what we're going to do, of course, is we're going to go into the line and see how it's working in Japanese. And of course, before we do that, we got to check out some of the vocabulary. And this is a somewhat decent line, decently length line, so there's a fair amount of vocabulary here. First one we have is going to be the word Renai, and this is going to translate to basically romance or love. Next up we got the word kami or kami-sama, will be basically god or gods. After that we have the verb moteru, and this is kind of a slangish word, I would say. It's a verb that basically translates to be popular. When you see it written, it will pretty commonly be in katakana, or strangely enough, I guess half katakana. The final ru will usually be in hiragana. Following that, we're going to have another verb word, the very basic common word yu, which is going to translate to basically to say. And finally, we'll wrap up this vocabulary list with the last verb word that we'll see in the sentence, kizutsukeru, and this is going to translate to basically to hurt. And this will be basically the transitive version of that verb, as in to hurt something else, not to be feeling hurt yourself. So now that we have the vocabulary covered, let's actually jump into the sentence now. We're going to see that the first word that we have is going to be renai, our first vocabulary word. It's just going to be romance. It is going to be in a noun of a noun modification here, so we need a second noun. We see that the second noun is going to be none other than our second vocabulary word, kami-sama. So then that would make renai no kami-sama basically the god of romance. Gods of romance, probably just singular god of romance. So renai no kami-sama, god of romance, we're going to mark that with the particle ga because it's going to be performing some kind of action. And we see here that the action is, or we're not actually going to get to the action yet. First, we're going to have the following word, moteru, which is our vocabulary word to be popular, and then we're going to mark it with a quotation marker te, a hard te, as opposed to the usual to, because this is a dialogue from anime, so the characters are speaking pretty casually, so it's a hard te instead. And we know that that's the quotation marker, and we see why it's being used here as we move along into the sentence, because it's being used with the verb yu, which means to say, so it makes sense. We use the quotation marker when we're using the verb to say. Something that I just forgot to mention here, the verb moteru is basically going to be in its command form motero, and this will translate to basically be popular, as in like telling someone to be popular. So then if we have Renai no kami-sama ga ore ni motero te itte, and this is going to be basically the god of romance is telling me to be popular. We see first though that we have the word ore, which is going to just translate to I. It's the masculine form of I, basically. We have the particle ni to express a direction towards me or I, ore. But we're not quite done yet. We gotta check out this yu. It's being conjugated into the te form, plus the character ru, which is a short form of iru. So this is the grammar pattern that is the te form of a verb, plus iru to mean basically telling or have told. Then we're gonna end this first clause of the sentence with a kind of conjunction slash grammar pattern, which is ijou. And this is a pretty depthful grammar pattern, I would say. Here it's gonna translate to as long as, probably the most appropriate translation for ijou, but it is quite nuanced and it can become translated into different things depending on the context. Another fitting translation of it, perhaps more fitting in general, is translating that to now that something has happened, or because. So now that the god of romance has implored me to be popular, or because they have. But in this particular sentence, we're going to go with as long as the god of romance implores me to be popular. So that's what the first clause here is saying. Renai no kami sama ga ore ni motero te itteru ijou. As long as the god of romance implores me to be popular.
恋愛の神様が俺にモテろって言ってる以上
And now we finish the sentence with the second clause. We see here that it starts with the word mata, which is just the word that means another, or yeah, here it's going to translate to another, so it's going to be modifying the word right after it, and that is going to be the word dareka, which is someone, or anyone. In this case, someone is more appropriate, so mata dareka is another someone, or someone again, if we want to be more natural. We'll see how that becomes naturalized in our translation once we finish up the sentence. So moving on, we have the particle o, the direct object marker o, to mark dareka as the direct object of some action that we're about to find out, which is our last vocabulary word, kizutsukeru. We see here that it's being conjugated in a pretty unique form here. This is actually the shimao form, but it's being turned into its casual counterpart. That makes it sound more cutesy, and that's going to be chimao instead of shimao. When we form it, we actually don't take the te form like we do for the shimao grammar pattern. We take the te form, but we drop the te there, and it kind of ends up as this just like root form that's similar to the pre-mouse form, but not exactly the same as it. So it becomes kizutsuke, then we add shimao after that, and of course that grammar pattern right there, shimao slash shimao, is going to mean basically to perform something to finality, and there's a sense of regret to it, and you can't take it back. Going to translate to basically hurt with a sense of regret, basically. Let's look at it with the context of the rest of this half sentence. Mata dareka o kizutsukechimau, and this will be basically, I'll end up hurting someone again. You'll see in our translation when we say end up hurting as opposed to just saying hurting, we express through the translation that sense of regret that's inherent in the Japanese grammar pattern of shimao there.
また誰かを傷つけちまう
So yeah, that's gonna actually wrap up the sentence right there. So let's combine both of the clauses that we've covered. Renai no kami sama ga ore ni motero te itteru ijou, mata dareka o kizutsukechimau. And this is going to translate to, as long as the god of romance implores me to be popular, I'm gonna end up hurting someone again. And then we have that final bit at the end where he says another sentence that's really simple. Mo daremo kizutsuketakunai. And this is going to translate to, I don't want to hurt anyone again.
恋愛の神様が俺にモテろって言ってる以上また誰かを傷つけちまう
Okay, so that's the line right there. Very, very fitting line for anyone to say, right? So let's just go over the grammar patterns that we cover in here. First up, we encountered a noun of a noun modification at the beginning of the sentence. We have the marking te particle to mark a quote. We have the grammar pattern that is ijou to mean as long as, or now that this has happened, or because this. Then after that, we just basically just have that shimao grammar pattern used with a verb to express that you've done that verb to its finality and you can't take it back, and there's a sense of regret to it. And this is of course the kind of more casual cutesy form of that grammar pattern, so it becomes chimao instead of shimao.
どうして俺はモテちまうのか俺をこんな風にしたのは誰なのかそんなことできるやつあいつしかいね
まさかゴッド
えマジック恋愛の神様が俺にモテろって言ってる以上また誰かを傷つけちまうもう誰も傷つけたくない
Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Anime Line of the Day. Remember, if there were grammar patterns mentioned for this line, they'll be mentioned in the description or the pinned comment below with links to the individual lessons on them. You can also probably find them in the playlist of our complete grammar video series shown on the screen right here alongside our anime playlist. And last but not least, don't forget to try to translate the bonus line we provided. Leave your translation in a comment below. Check out our Patreon, like the video, and subscribe. With all that said and done, see you next time.